In this video, I'm going to share with you some tools and applications that you can use from smart notebook software in order to create your own science notebook resources. The topics may not be the same as the ones that you teach, however, you can apply the principles to a range of different topics. On this first page here, the idea is for students that are going to look at the cross-section of a flower. They're going to be given a PDF. Now, with notebook software, you can link any of your documents, whether it's a PowerPoint, a Word, or a PDF. This reduces the amount of time taken to open and close documents. It's also great to be able to display the document on the smartboard and interact with it in terms of drawing and adding further detail and instructions. I've also used Note Reveal here. This allows me to reveal one question at a time. So students are focusing on the question which has been revealed rather than reading the entire text and not focusing on what the class is discussing. This activity here is based on the layering principle and it's called Colour Reveal. The magnifying glass comes from the gallery, which is over here, and the image came from the gallery as well. So you can put any image that you like and you can colour match the labels to the background to create the colour reveal. This activity here, I've actually included audio within the lesson. So it's a pollination song, and if I click on the verse,
what does a plant need to make a new seed?
So students can listen to the song and get information from the lyrics, factual information about plants. This activity here is using the checker tool. So I have the checker tool at the top and the students can drag the correct word and it will say if it's correct or incorrect. The checker tool comes from the gallery. In this activity here, you can see that I have a video playing within my notebook document. You can embed a video in there, which reduces your time of opening and closing video files.
But you could be justified for regarding it as one.
On this page here, again, I have a linked document for extensions. I've also used the camera tool, which is located at the top, to create a screen capture from the website. So I know that if I click on this link here, I will go to this website, and using a camera tool gives me a visual of what the interactive activity looks like. This activity here, you can edit it, so you type in the word that you'd like and the descriptor. Then students can read the word and the descriptor, drag across the word to match the descriptor. They can check, solve it, and you can click reset as well. This page here, I've used a camera tool and I've created a screen capture of a video. Now this video file here was about 30 minutes in length, which is too large to embed within my document. So rather than embedding it in the notebook document, I've linked it. Here are some other activities. These activities come from a unit on the Earth, the Moon and the Sun. And this first activity here, I've used object animation and fade out. Number 1, the Moon is a planet. False. The Moon is a star. Well, students may select true, and it gives them the incorrect. It gives them a feedback to say that the answer was incorrect. With this activity here, you could have students answering it in their books themselves, then coming up as a group and checking their answers on the board. This here is just basically used as a visual. This page here, I've used image match, which comes from the gallery over here. So the students drag the word to match the image. They can check it, reset, and solve. You can see from the edit tool that you simply drag and drop your image and then you type in the label. This activity here came from Smart Exchange. It is a flash file created by Smart Technologies which you can access, and it's similar to the previous one where you can check, solve, and reset. The difference with this one here is it can't be edited. Here is another one which came from Smart Exchange as well, similar to the previous one, although this one has the images of the phases of the moon. Here are some examples on teaching students about basic scientific diagrams for the primary years. Now I'll start off with something that they are familiar with. So here we have a computer. So the students simply drag up the labels for the various parts of the computer. This activity here does not have automatic feedback. It's just getting the students to become familiar with dragging and labeling a scientific diagram. Again, here I've used the checker tool. This one's not working at the moment. There we go. Okay. This activity here is used object animation with fade in. So you could ask students, what do we label this part? And I selected the veins. This activity here comes from the gallery. So it's looking at labeling. So we've got click and reveal. So they can click and reveal different parts of the scientific diagram. If you select the menu, it's got drop and drag. So students can drag the different parts to label the scientific diagram. And again, a similar one for the eye. This one here is using the 3D content. So here I have a diagram of the brain, and you can see as I rotate it, students can get a three-dimensional view of the brain and see that it's also labelled. 3D content is the next stage for notebooks for smart software. This one here is the heart. You can see that students can move it around. And students can come and you can take a screenshot if you like using the camera tool, and they can label the heart from different angles. This activity here we're looking at classification keys. So first of all, students simply sort the animals and creatures or objects into various groups. And then they give a justification of why they've sorted those into those particular groups. Then we're having a look here, so we've got the vertebrate classification. So it has scales, doesn't eat large fish. Okay, so we put it here. Vertebrate has scales, eats large fish. And then I'll get students to create their own. So you've got vertebrate classification, then students create their own subcategories and sort the animals accordingly. This activity here, they were looking at sound, so we're looking at high and low sounds. Now I've created a Venn diagram, and with the object animation, I've used the sliding scale so you can still see the one behind. So students can click on a sound. They may decide it's a low sound. They may not be sure, so that could go in the middle. Now all of those sounds I just recorded using Audacity and linked them as an MP3 sound file into the notebook document. Also within the gallery there are many different activities. This is a pitch explorer. Changing over now to earthquakes. This first page here, I have linked a PowerPoint on earthquakes, which gives students visual and audio as well. You can create your own concept maps about any scientific concept. You can use Smart Ideas 5, or you can get online and use bubbleus.com, which is free as well. If you're using Bubbleus, for example, I would create the concept map, use the camera tool, and you can drop it into your notebook document, and then you can also print off your concept map for students if they've created it collaboratively and need a hard copy. You can also embed flash files. For example, this one here is called FactFragment Frenzy.
First, I'll need to read the paragraph all the way through from beginning to end.
So it's a flash file that's working within the notebook document. This flash file was aimed at teaching students how to take notes from text. This activity here was based on the layering principle. So I asked students what causes an earthquake, looking at their prior knowledge. It is because the earth turns too fast and then it causes an earthquake. Another student said, there is a loss of gravity. This makes the plates move to form an earthquake. I think the wind blows and starts knocking the buildings, then I think the buildings wobble. So I've used the layering principle. So this is on the top layer. Underneath you have this one here, and the bottom layer is the black rectangle. You can also create a word wall or a glossary wall. So of the scientific terms for your subject or the topic, you can simply type it up here and keep a record of it. This here was using an experiment we're looking at. We're looking at the layers of the earth. So I've linked the document, which is here. Now it's not going to let me close it, so if I just go down, oh, it did let me close it. Okay, so the idea was to cut a Ferrero Rocher in half and then associate the layers of the earth with parts of the chocolate. That's just another example. I've used a digital camera to take a picture of an egg, and we're looking at tectonic plates. From the gallery, you can simply drag this across. So we're looking at different continents, and students can drag and match and name different continents in the world. This one here is also a flash file. So if I just move this up. So here you can have a look at the movement of the plates over time. And there are just a few examples on how you can use your smart notebook software to create various activities for science.